The City Council meeting last night in Sturgis was shameful and embarrassing. Not so much in its result. The council selected Ward 1 councilperson Angela Wilkerson to fill the remainder of the term left vacant when longtime Sturgis Mayor Mark Karstensen resigned a few weeks ago. The result was certainly a choice the council had before them last night. The procedure, on the other hand, was shameful. A majority of the embattled and cocooned City Council somehow arrived at the startling conclusion they would not hear from the public. Indeed, Council President Becca Zerbst adopted the astounding position that during the other matters that come before the council section of the meeting, the public would not be allowed to offer comment on the mayoral appointment matter because it was a later agenda item. Further, she said when the council reached that agenda item, they would not be taking any public comment. Despite a gallery full of interested residents, obviously in attendance regarding the matter, and a variety of voices who stood ready to speak, the council president refused to hear from any of them. This despite the fact that the council has historically and routinely heard input from the public on virtually any matter that comes before them, no matter how mundane. Now, poised to make a crucial decision, the city leaders, a group steering a ship that many say may be floundering, decided they wouldn't recognize the right of the public to be heard, and apparently concluded the public could offer nothing of value in their decision. Zerbst interrupted and shut down attempts by a few to speak. No one came to their aid. Stealthily circumventing the preposterous rules muzzling the public, local attorney Eric Davis was able to get some compelling comments on the record by not speaking directly on the mayoral appointment. Instead, Davis spoke regarding a novel idea that might allow a public vote to fill the vacant mayor position after all. As many might recall, the city was unable to call for a vote on the matter because by state statute, they would have had that ordinance on the books adopting a special election as a means of filling the remainder of the term prior to the mayor resigning. Councilperson Aaron Jordan, seemingly more interested than some of his counterparts in hearing from the public, had expressed a willingness to accept the appointment only temporarily so that such an ordinance could be put in place, then resign so an election might be set. Rumor abounds that controversial city attorney Mark Marshall had scoured the law to see if he could find a way to block such democracy. Attorney Davis, not representing the city but an interested resident and local attorney who has taken the council to task on other matters, had researched the issue and was there to suggest it might indeed be possible and urged, if Marshall had found otherwise, that the council seek a second opinion. Zerbst interrupted Davis a few times before eventually stifling him altogether and was unmoved. The interviews of the candidates turned out not to be interviews at all. Virtually no questions were asked of any of them. They were allowed to speak, but many on the council barely feigned interest. The fix, it seemed, was already in. Indeed, in the days and hours preceding the meeting, many, though important to say not all, of the council persons were ducking calls, including those from residents in their own ward, determined not to hear outside voices. Shameful. I strongly suspect the public, regardless of which candidate they supported or even if they didn't support any of them, will not take kindly to this sort of stonewalling, as resident Bonnie Albers called it last night before she, too, was cut short by it. Even before this incident, the public had been highly skeptical of many city actions, highly skeptical and now denied even the common courtesy of a voice to speak at the meeting. But their voices will be heard. An election that will dramatically change the makeup of the city council is now just a month away. Much will be decided. Change is in the air.